Want to start cycling but you feel slightly intimidated? Well, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't need to be the case, and these 5 things should help you get into the saddle with some confidence. It's about as close as me or Prince Andrew's going to get these days. Good morning everyone, you join me for another Saturday spin. If you have thought about it but haven't done so yet, haven't taken the plunge, you should get out and get on the bike. So I will see you out there. Now I appreciate that, like anything in life, starting something new can be daunting, it can be intimidating. However, let me give you a few reasons why, if you are thinking of starting to cycle, you definitely should. You might be thinking that you are too old to start cycling. Well, you're definitely not. And I didn't begin until my mid-30s, having probably not ridden a bike since I was 15. And in fact, my partner's father, who is in his mid-60s, one of the fittest men I know, also did not start cycling until his mid-30s. He absolutely smokes me. Naturally, as you get older, the aches and pains that you could easily shake off when you're a youngster longer disappear so quickly. My partner's uncle, in fact, he actually completed the entire route of the Tour de France on his own. So it just goes to show that age really is just a number. So don't let that stop you. You might be concerned that you are too unfit, and admittedly will be difficult when you first begin. When I tried to do 50k, I bonked so hard I was nearly sick out of my nose over my friend's front door. I hadn't really done any exercise for many years, to be perfectly honest. I had spent the majority of my 20s and early 30s drinking very heavily, going out 4 or 5 times a night, a week sometimes, and just generally not taking care of my body. So it was an absolute shock to the system when I first got on the bike, but in a short space of time you can make a lot of improvement. Cycling is an excellent way to lose weight and to generally improve your fitness. However, you can't outrun, out-gym a bad diet. So check out some of the cooking recipes that I've been posting if you're looking for healthy, delicious food that will also give you the fuel you need. Cycling is not the most cost-effective hobby or sport to undertake. I must admit, there are some upfront costs, can be quite high. I have spent thousands. That is money that I would have spent on beer tokens. So I do consider it a good investment, a fair trade-off, however you like to look at it. There are a few ways in which you can minimise that cost. If you're in the UK and your job has the cycle to work scheme, really excellent savings on the cost of not only new bikes but used ones as well. The bike I got would have been around about £2,200 new, but it was ex-display reduced to £1,600, and then with the cycle to work scheme, over a period of 2 years, I'll probably be paying roughly £1,000 for it. So that's a really great way to minimise that, the big upfront cost. The other option, of course, is to get a second-hand bike off of Facebook or eBay. It's a cost-effective way of getting off the ground and onto the saddle, so to speak. I've also found cycling to have been a real help when it comes to mental health and discipline, really. And I've had a couple of tough moments in my life where to be quite frank, I wish I'd discovered cycling at that point. I think it would have definitely helped me. I decided to drink more and more beers, which, as you can probably imagine, didn't really help. And since I've started cycling and being disciplined about getting up in the morning, going out the weekend, drinking less, I found that my mental clarity in general has vastly improved. My performance at work is much better. I'm not walking around in a cloud or a daze as I realised I was for quite a few years. There's definitely real physical and mental benefits to not just cycling, but exercising and being disciplined. Being out on the bike is also a fantastic way to give yourself some time and to allow your mind some space, really. I find that I go into a meditative state quite often when I'm out cycling, where my mind is able to kind of go blank and just be really present and in the moment. And I think that's something that's so valuable these days. Everything's so fast paced, everyone's so busy. Just having a moment to yourself out in nature, which also really helps, I find to be super beneficial. Time is definitely the most difficult thing to allow for. I'm very fortunate that I'm able to commit quite a fair bit of time to cycling, both indoors and outdoors, and I appreciate that's not the case for everyone. Obviously time is something we all wish we had more of, and obviously there's nothing that I nor anyone else can say or do to give you more time. But what I can tell you is that if you do decide to start going down the pub on a Friday so you can get up early to go out on a Saturday morning, or you can find a couple of hours in the morning when the weather's nice or after work, it will have a dramatic change for your lifestyle. And it's not just cycling, but if you start taking care of yourself, I can guarantee you that the results will be nothing but positive. Let me know in the comments if you feel like there's anything holding you back, or if you have made the change, and how cycling or exercising in general or taking care of yourself has changed your outlook. As you can see, it has rained a lot here recently.